impact? How do you think they feel? I said, but how does my daughter feel that you're telling her to draw 2 months? She's coming home questioning us.
And just to stop you there quickly though, we both have had disagreement, yeah. We ain't got a problem with gay, lesbian, bi, trans, yeah. If you're happy and you're an adult and that's what makes you happy, then all the best, crack on you.
3, 2, 1, let's go!
Yes, Mo.
How you doing, Michael?
I'm
You
good,
okay?
man. How are you?
What's going on? Good.
You know what, mate? I just want to say thank you for coming today.
Nah, bro, thank you.
This is massive for me. Right, let me just explain something to everyone quickly, right? This man here, this real strong man, this loving parent, I seen a video going around of him last week, right? It went viral all over social media, Manchester Evening News, it's been in everywhere, right? This man had a problem with his primary school based on the explicit material and teachings to kids of age of 6. I got in touch with Mo and I went to support them in their second protest. So Mo, I'm going to hand it over to you. Tell us what happened.
Obviously, it's been a very long journey, innit? It's been 1 year. So, like, just to run you through from start to finish, roughly this time last year, just before the end of school, my daughter was shown the video that we highlighted, the Willas video. I think it's called Willas Everywhere. You can find it on YouTube. And so during the same week, they've had RSE lessons and they've let us know that RSE lessons are going to take place. So she's my eldest daughter of 6. So she's the first one because in year 1 they start the RSE lessons. Okay. So I've had school have sent a message out and I'm like, okay, I've heard a bit of things about this RSE. And I was sleeping like most parents, bro. Weren't really aware of what the issue was or anything. So I've just spoke to the school about RSE. They've called me in, they've showed me the slides. There's a few things on there that were a bit dubious. And I had a good meeting with the head teacher and I said to her that, look, I'm okay with the slides. There's a few things on there I don't like. So I said, unless I can sit in on the lesson and know how it's delivered, like, it's all good showing me slides, but what's the words going with it? What's the teacher saying to go with it? And I was like, for that reason, I'm going to keep my daughter off. And it's actually in the RSE framework that parents should know that when when the stuff's getting taught, the date and the time, and the material as well. Yeah. So they've done that. So I said to her, look, and I think that was like a Tuesday, and the lesson was on a Friday. So I said, I'm keeping my daughter off on Friday. Yeah. And it was that Friday, and the next Friday, there were 2 RSE lessons. Thursday, I'm walking down with my daughter, and she goes, oh, Dad, they showed me a video today. So, like, I'll always, like, when I'm walking, because I've got 4 kids in the school and 2 are at home, each child I pick up, as I'm walking to the next child, I'll be like, what did you do at school today? Yeah, what did you have for lunch? Do you know what I mean? Like, to ask my kids what's going on. Do you know what I mean? Just have a relationship with them. And she turned around and she goes, Dad, they showed me a video today. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, what was the video? She goes, they showed me a video about a boy who was sad, and then he become a girl, and he's happy. And yo, as soon as I heard that, like, alarm bell started ringing in my head. I'm thinking, what are you showing a 6-year-old, she was 6 at the time, a video about a child transitioning? Where does that make sense?
And I'll tell you now, mate, I've seen that video based on seeing news, and it's pure propaganda to me. There's no 7-year-old in this world that can talk the way that 7-year-old did. It's advertising, it's propaganda, which raises red flags.
Bro, she's reading off her script. She goes, the gender identity bill was dedicated to me. Yeah. Sweetheart, you're 6 years old, you don't know what the gender identity bill is? No. How it was passed, what it even means, do you know what I mean? Alarm bells are going off, yeah. And I'm fuming because I'm thinking, I've had a meeting with you about RSE, and then I'm pulling my daughter out of the Friday lesson, and then on Thursday you've gone and done this. So I've gone straight into the office. I've gone, yo, what's this video my daughter's telling me about? They've gone, what video? I said, she's watched a video today. She's saying it's about a boy who's sad and become a girl and now he's happy. And I want to know what this video is. So they've given me the link on YouTube. All the way home, bro. Like, you know, I've not watched it, so obviously, like, my mind's just overthinking everything. I'm thinking, what the hell's this video? Put the kids to bed. Didn't want a plate in front of the other kids. Yep. Sat down with the missus and, like, watched the video, and I was just like, yo, like, how does this even make sense?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Like, where's the rationale behind it? What are you teaching a 6-year-old?
Age appropriate.
Yeah. Right, so protecting the 9 characteristics, which include gender, sexual orientation, sex, religious beliefs, age, disability, race, like, teaching respect and tolerance is one thing.
Yeah.
That's indoctrination. That's
100%.
advertising.
100%.
I've gone in the next day. I've written out a 4-long complaint. Yeah, put it in. Had a meeting with the governors. And you know what? Like parents, I don't know. Maybe I'm just more passionate. Maybe I'm just more blunt. But I think parents are a bit shy to bring up these topics or talk about this. I sat in the governor's meeting and I said, before anyone talks, I said, I want to know all of your qualifications. Yeah, they were all looking at me like, what's that got to do with anything? And I was like, nah, I said, I'm here with the complaint. I'm asking the questions. Went around the whole room, yeah. And one thing people don't realize about teachers, you can do any degree, yeah, and then do your, what's the teacher training thing called?
PGC.
Yeah, you can do any degree. As long as you pass it, you can do a PGC.
And that's the bridge to teaching, isn't it?
So they're not necessarily, even though they're teachers, they're not necessarily the most academic people. Yeah. It's not like being a lecturer at university. Yeah. Where you have to have kind of gone through doing a master's and stuff like that to be teaching at university.
And remember,
level.
them teachers are getting that and they're teaching across the board.
Across
so they're
the
not
board.
specific to they've done science.
Yeah.
They'll be teaching RSA, PSHE.
See, it's not like I've done maths as a degree and now I'm a maths teacher.
Yep.
No, they could have done health and social care, got a degree, got a third in it, then done a PGC conversion, everything. So they've gone around the room, and I think there was only one lady there who was a forensic, did a degree in forensics and a master's. So I just told them point blank, I said, none of you have the right to talk now on this matter apart from me. Why? I'm a qualified pharmacist. I said, how are you even talking about transitioning to a 6-year-old? Bro, I went in on him, yeah, and this is where they've kind of pulled this narrative of he's intimidating, he's aggressive. No, you're violating my child.
100%.
You're violating my child's innocence. Yeah, you're trying to brainwash my child. I said to them, listen, this video is point blank advertising. I said, look, and I explained it to him very, very like scientifically, because I'm from a science background. Yeah, so I explained to him through science. Most of the women there that were on the governors, middle-aged women, and I said, look, some of you are postmenopausal or premenopausal. I said, the slight fluctuation in your female hormones in your body, and I said, you get the sweats, you get the agitation, you get the tiredness, you get all of that. And I said to the men as well, I think there was only one middle-aged man there anyway, and I said, like scientific studies show, after the age of 35, the testosterone levels in men start to drop. What do? You get depression, you get loss of motivation, loss of drive, fatigue. And that's just a slight fluctuation in hormones in a biological body that are supposed to be
So your
there.
natural hormones.
Your natural hormones. So for men, testosterone levels, slight fluctuation in that has a drastic effect on a man's ability, his drive, everything, libido, motivation levels, energy levels. For women, obviously premenopausal, postmenopausal, even you can go towards menstrual cycle, just the time when they're on their period, them slight fluctuations, every man knows it, when your woman's on, it's going to be an interesting week sometimes.
Stay away.
And that's just within their natural hormones in their body.
Yeah, it's true.
Now you're talking about putting a woman's hormones into a female body. I mean, a woman's hormones into a male body.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. Do you know the effects of that? Do you know the long-term effects? There's not even enough studies to show it. So I'm like, what the hell are you showing my 6-year-old that
See,
for?
that's what scares the living shit out of me as well. Not obviously the madness that's going on, the satanic ideology, the indoctrination. It's a social construct. A social construct means an idea that's been created, right? Before 2018, there was, is it Caitlyn Jenner? Yeah? She transitioned. He or she today now, he was an Olympic gold medalist for 48 years. He decided to transition. Then we went into lockdown. Since lockdown, pronouns have come out. Yeah, the revised sex education has come out. All on the back of this transitioning because a celebrity in America done it. And it scares the shit out of me because, there's, like you said, there's no data to show the side effects, long-term side effects at all.
Bro, some of the drugs they use are cancer drugs. They cause osteoporosis, which is basically the bone density decreases, so you're more prone to kind of fractures. Yeah, you know what? I can't even go into the list of side effects. The list of side effects are ridiculous. Are ridiculous. you cannot mess around with hormones from someone else's body to someone else's body and say that point blank, we know that this person's now going to be happy. Because that's all my 6-year-old got from it. Will was sad, became Willa, and now he's happy.
Well, ultimately, if we seen that video, we could look right through that because we've lived a little, we understand.
From an adult's eye.
Yeah, exactly. So everyone knows from a kid's side, they're only going to pick up, well, I might not be happy, so that might make me happy.
That might make me happy. And I said this to him on my governor's meeting. I said, if you showed my daughter a video where Will was getting fed broccoli and celery, for breakfast, dinner and lunch, and now Will gets sweets and popcorn and, fizzy drinks, my child's going to come home and say, I'm sad. If you give me
100%.
fizzy drinks and sweets, I'm going to be happy now.
Because they're very impressionable at that age.
Yeah, at that age. And they know that.
Of course they do.
Like, I fail to believe that it's like out of like, naivety or, just not being aware. As far as I'm concerned, you're just smart enough to know that.
Of course they are.
Yeah. Anyways, I ripped into him. Yeah. And not a single governor disagreed that it shouldn't have been, they said, yo, it shouldn't be there.
Really?
Yeah. So they removed it from curriculum. And then, so we've come to the end of the year. End of the year, they give kids their books for the end of year books, all the work they've done throughout the year. Essentially, I'm getting scrutinised, and the 4 or 5 parents that were stood with me, we all got scrutinised. Why? Because we're active parents, we sit down with our kids, we engage with our kids. What they want is blind, deaf and dumb parents, Don't ask us questions, Don't ask too much, don't look into too much and just send your kids to us. No. My wife carried the child for 9 months. Correct. My wife went through the pain of labour. In our religion, it says like the closest pain to death or the closest circumstance to death is when a woman's delivering a baby. That's the closest when life's at death, and that's the closest pain to death. She's gone through that. Then we together have gone through sleepless nights. Feeding the baby. Paying for the milk, paying for the nappies. Arguing over, nah, I stayed up all last night, it's your night tonight, do you know what I mean? Baby's unwell, baby's unsettled, got colic, this, that, the other, teething. We've gone through all of that. I paid for the holidays, I clothed them kids. She did the sleepless nights, she went through the vomit on her and this, that, the other, do you know what I mean? We went through that. So no, I have full right over my child.
100%.
You want to have that control over my child, then you know what, please, take on all the financial responsibility, take on the sleepless nights, take up all, go deal with all the shitty nappies, go deal with the vomit, the crying, the this, that, the other day, he's having crisp, I'm not having crisp, go deal with all of that.
It's a daily battle, isn't it?
You were just there, bro, 10 minutes ago, it's nuts in it in my
nuts,
house,
mate.
6 of them, you want that kind of like control over my child, well, take the responsibility as well, And the yearbook, going through it, I see a picture of 2 women with love hearts in between and rainbows. So I'm like, how come you've drawn this? And this is an art lesson now.
So not
so
RSE
is one thing.
Not PSHE.
Willow was in PSHE.
Yeah.
So we've got RSE that I found stuff dubious. Now we've got PSHE where we've got Willow video in. And now we've got art. So I'm like, why did you draw this? Oh, the teacher told me to draw 2 women with a love heart and rainbows in between because it's okay if 2 women want to marry 2 women. Now, where's the boundary of respect and tolerance and then respecting other people's views?
Correct. So
I've gone in and complained again. And again, my complaints were taken on board. So I discussed it with them. They said, what's your problem with 2 women wanting to marry you? I said, I got no problem.
You're switching it though,
yeah, I got no problem. I said, what's your problem with messing with what my daughter understands about family? I said, in telling my daughter to draw that, you've marginalised what she understands about family.
100%.
So they've asked me, how do you think it should be delivered? And she wasn't, it was kind of like, it was done sarcastically. But she didn't like the reply that she got because guess what? It got implemented. I said, why didn't you turn around and say to the children, because she goes, we've got kids who have got 2 mums and 2 dads. How do you think they feel? I said, but how does my daughter feel that you're telling her to draw 2 mums? She's coming home questioning us.
And just to stop you there quickly though, we both have had disagreement, We ain't got a problem with gay, lesbian, bi, trans, If you're happy and you're an adult and that's what makes you happy, then all the best, crack on, Literally from my heart. The minute you try and make our children decide what you've decided, and remember, you're a minority, and I don't mean that in a bad way, the LGBTQ plus is a minority. Why? Who knows? I can tell you why I think it is. That's beyond the point. So the demographic of your school in that area
Yeah,
is what?
99% Muslim.
Right. So it falls under special characteristics,
Yeah,
religious and
essentially.
beliefs. So why is a minority of people displacing the majority?
majority.
We're supposed to live in a democracy. Democracy means the majority rules.
But this is where I've been fair with them. So I've said, listen, why don't you turn around and say to the kids, draw what family means to you.
Correct.
I said, rather than forcing an opinion on him, why don't you let them express their opinion? And I said, the child who's got 2 mums will draw 2 mums because that's what family means to them.
Yeah.
The one that's getting raised by their grandma will draw their grandma and their mum. It might be a single parent, and the grandma's helping out. They'll draw that. The one that's got 2 dads will draw 2 dads. I said, and the ones that have got a heterosexual mum and dad, which is the norm, which is the majority, they'll draw that. And I said, at the end of the class, hold it up and show the kids. Say, look, everyone's family settings are different.
Yeah.
Respect everyone. Be nice to everyone. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah. They took it on board. So when they showed us, so that was all last year. Yeah. I was vexed. Went spoke to a few parents. 120 complaints handed in. Yeah. I don't think any of them got responded to. So come this year, they basically, I'll actually just fast forward to where it just started kicking off because there was a few issues at the start of the year. We wanted a discussion. We said, look, you're doing this stuff in RSE, you're doing it in PSHE, you're doing it in art. I think there was even a maths thing. Like, what has this got to do with maths? Yeah, 2 dads plus 2 dads equals 4 dads.
Oh my God.
How far do you want to push this?
See, this is my problem, right? When it comes, we're talking about a community that's all included, but they don't include our beliefs.
They exclude everyone but themselves.
And if it's only for RSHE and PSHE, cool, because as parents in England at the minute, we can opt out for them, which should be respected. But then
PSHE
even if we opt out of RSHE and PSHE, you're still not covered because of in art and in maths. The ideology is being forced, and that's the scary thing.
I was just like, oh, this is ridiculous. So they held meetings towards the end of the year, so in May, with regards to RSE. And I swear only like 6 parents turned up to each one. There was maybe 1 year where there was like 10. And they started discussing it. We've gone through the slides. That was all perfectly fine. And then at the end of it, everyone's like, okay, what about PSHE? Because the Willas video was in PSHE. We're not going to discuss PSHE. And we're like, yo, like, this is a complaint from last year. Like, you're not understanding. If you're going to push this rhetoric in every other subject, we want to know what's going on in them topics, in them subjects. No response. And I've got kids across, by this year, my daughter was in year 1 when the Willas video was shown. She was in year 2, and my twins were in year 1. So I was in 2 of the meetings. At the end of each one, every parent was like, yo, PSHE, PSHE, PSHE. No. I've gone to Egypt. Yeah, we had this group that we made on WhatsApp last year about the Willas video to ask, yo, did anyone else get shown this Willas video? And apparently it was shown from year 1 to year 6. And I was asking parents, how do you feel about it? Now, people want to now demonize these WhatsApp groups here, like, oh, this is the way, like, you start a cult
so
or something.
incite hate and all.
Yeah. No, it's a way of communication. The whole world uses WhatsApp.
Community. It's a community of people wanting
and it's
to come
the easiest
together
way
and
to
help each other.
communicate with multiple people on a wide scale. Do you know what I mean? So we've got a charity organisation called Lighthouse Foundation, where we teach kids wrestling and jiu-jitsu for free.
Yeah, nice one.
And so we've got all the people who are taking part. We've had to cancel jiu-jitsu for the next 2 weeks. How do we communicate with them? We've got a WhatsApp group. Everyone's on there, and we just say it's cancelled next week. It's the easiest form of communication, but they want to paint their narrative. I've gone away, and then this is on the 1st of June, I've gone away. Now, in our RSE meetings, they did turn around and say, oh, by the way, it's Pride Month next month. Kept hinting it to us. There's a few comments they made in there. You're a minority. Oh, you few parents again. Yeah, and we've got Pride it's Pride Month next month. Like, if you're proud of what you do, that's fine. Yeah, I'm happy for you. Yeah, You don't need to shove it in our face.
No.
I'm proud of a lot of things I do. I'm not forcing everyone to celebrate all the things that I'm proud about.
correct.
Do you know what I mean?
Same.
If you're proud, yeah, I'm happy for you. You guys got rights, wicked, good for you. Yeah, no one should be violated or discriminated against. 110%, no one should be. Any adult who makes a decision about their life, they should be left to make that decision for their life.
Totally agree.
Unless it's something like, you know, like drugs or alcohol, where, like, you know, if it's like a friend or something and they're doing harm to themselves, 100% you should intervene in it. Yeah, but if someone makes a lifestyle choice, yeah, about their kind of personal inclinations or sexual orientation, that's for them. Do you know what I mean? And if that's how you're happy, that's how you're happy. Yeah, that's an adult decision.
Correct.
Don't start forcing it down kids. Anyways, what's happened is someone's heard about a pride assembly. Now, school have tried to deny this on the Monday, first Monday of June. School have tried to deny this. There's 4 or 5 different parents from 4 or 5 different avenues who have had it confirmed there's a pride assembly. Yeah. Everyone said, yo, what's this, man? Why do we need a pride assembly? Now, you got to bear in mind, look, they're walking around with rainbow lanyards on. Yeah. And you don't insult our intelligence. You're blatantly promoting one particular ideology. And it's just getting too much. You know, rainbow lanyards, pride assembly, draw 2 months, 2 dads plus 2 dads is 4 dads, Willa videos, this, that, the other. I mean, have my kids come here to learn numeracy and literacy, ABC, 1, 2, 3? Is that what they come to learn? Or have they just come to learn all of this?
Correct.
It's an educational institute. Yeah. Everyone's just kicked off. They've just kicked off. They've said, yo, you're having a laugh. It's getting too much. And the WhatsApp group, more and more parents started getting added to it. So parents have turned around and said to school, listen, we need to sit down and talk. What's going on? School are on blank, absolute blank, not responding to anyone. Multiple parents rang, multiple thingies. We don't want to engage in this conversation. You don't want to engage with adults about an adult topic, but you're happy to give it to kids.
Correct.
You're happy to give it to kids who've got no objection, they're completely innocent, yeah, and they'll just absorb it like a sponge, yeah. Is that the type of people you are? Where when it comes to talking to adults about their children, it's a point blank no. Yeah, but when it comes to literally indoctrination, that's the only way to that's the only paint it with, bro.
I agree. I totally agree.
So parents were like, what should we do? So I've come off holiday, and then parents talking about protest, this, that, the other, there's a handful of us who from the start, from last year, were thinking when the school kept saying, you handful of parents. We got together and we said, listen, we need to kind of organise this because people are going crazy. People wanted to protest. School have listened to them rumours, yeah, and on a Friday, I believe it was the 9th of June, they called police outside the school gates. There were 3 police officers at every gate. They had tasers on them. Kids were scared. Parents were scared.
And this was on the back of just caring parents wanting to sit down with the teachers.
And they bought into the rumours that, they're going to have a protest. They kept bringing up Birmingham 2019. Now, I didn't know nothing about Birmingham. I'm not on social media. I've only just got a TikTok account because of you. I'm not on any social media, no Instagram, no Snapchat, no Facebook. So I'm hearing Birmingham 2019, apparently there were some big kickoffs. I think it was Shaquille Afsar. Respect to you, brother, for whatever you did. And, you know, there was riots outside the school and so on and so forth. So we were like, listen, we don't want to fall into that. Do you know what I mean? That's not how we should behave as adults, as professionals, as parents. Like, what example are we giving the kids if we start to behave like that?
Yeah, correct.
So what we've done, we've called a meeting between the parents that are on the WhatsApp group. Now, bear in mind, Michael, this year, they don't want to talk to parents. They sat there, bro, they're monitoring the whole WhatsApp group. I swear they must spend more time on that WhatsApp group than I do. Yeah, there's so many messages on there, yeah, that after blanket, we have to turn the messages off. They know every message that's on there. I'm like, yo, you've got time for this. You're supposed to be teaching our kids. You're supposed to be interacting with parents, but instead you're sat there running through this WhatsApp group. 100, at one point there, I swear I looked at my phone after about an hour, there was 1,000 messages on there, and you got your time to go through all of that one by one. Do your flipping job.
They're more concerned about the truth, making them look bad.
Exactly.
Than listening to the parents.
They're like, yo, what are these parents? The truth's gonna come out with these parents. This is how scared they were, bro. We booked a venue for a meeting. Yeah, it was a community centre in the local area. The night before, we sat down. We've called this meeting on a whim, bro, because parents were like, we're going to start kicking off outside school.
Yeah.
So the few of us that are a bit more smarter, yeah, thinking with a bit more rationality, less emotions, yeah. And to be honest with you, like, born in the UK, educated in the UK, because a lot of them that are at that school, they're first generation migrants. 7 o'clock, we sat down, discussing, like, we've called this meeting, what are our objectives? And so we're thinking, right, okay, parents want a thingy. We're trying to work out what do parents want, what school thingy, and where's the kind of thing. We're having this conversation, we get a phone call from the community centre. We've just had a phone call from Manchester City Council saying if you let this meeting go ahead, XYZ threats.
Wow.
So school don't want to meet with parents, but then they don't want parents to meet with parents, but they want to sit there studying WhatsApp groups and they want to indoctrinate. What is this, bro? They've cancelled the booking. So we sat there having a meeting on aims and objectives, and they've cancelled the booking. So we're now sat there, we're trying to work out what our objectives. We've just turned around and told parents, let's have a meeting, we'll discuss it between ourselves. And we're like, hang on, we've got 170 parents coming, yeah? What are we trying to achieve? So we sat there thinking, all right, what do we do? And we come up with 3 very simple things. We want a meeting with the teachers, with the school, to discuss all content and material across curriculum, not just RSE.
Yeah.
We wanted to set up, like, there was a few issues where loads of parents going up to one teacher. So we're like, let's assign 2 parents to each year group, and there'll be like a bridge of communication. Parents got an issue, they speak to them 2 parents speak to the teacher. They relay what the teacher said back, keeps the heat off the teachers. Teachers don't feel like they're getting harassed, because they got to teach our kids, but we need to make sure they're okay, and they can communicate back to parents. Instead, we're ringing round the road, we need another hall, yeah. We're ringing the community centre saying, look, why have you cancelled our booking? Like, what's happened? Oh, apparently it's a hate speech is going down. Where's the hate? I've not heard a single discrimination. Every piece of police evidence. Anyways, we've got the hall back.
Listen, brother, I can back you up on that. So I've only met Mohammed the last week, yeah, because I wanted to get involved, right? And I've been to the protest. This guy's invited me back to his house. He's brought me out and paid for meals. This hatred that they're getting from the media, don't buy into it. Yeah, they were calling them extremists, homophobes, transphobic. I was at the protest, not one foul language. It was respectful, and it was done, well structured and well organised. Yeah, they were there just solely for the kids and to speak to them.
Bro, the police verified that. The person who's the head of the ASBAT team, I don't really want to name her, I don't think I should. She verified that. Yeah, the sergeant in Manchester who's in charge of protests verified that. Not a single incident, not a single discriminatory comment, not a single bit of hate speech. Yeah, we've got this organised now. We've got 170 parents here. The main thing, and I'm going to say this to everyone, yeah, if your kids are in primary school, do not expect your school to tell you. Ask your kids, what did you learn today? You know who's going to communicate it to you? Your own children. That's how I found out about the Willas video. That's how everyone in school kind of found out, because the first thing I said at the assembly as well, like when we gathered all the parents, yeah, was speak to your kids. That's the first piece of advice I give. The first thing I actually asked all them 170 parents, do you know what RSE means? They ain't got a clue.
This is it.
How do you expect parents to be aware of what they're teaching your kids when they don't even know what RSE means? Because the school basically put up RSE meeting for year 1. Now, if you don't know what RSE means, how do you know if that meeting applies to you or not? Do you know what I mean? That's why only 6 parents attended. Even I was a bit disheartened, thinking, yo, do you know parents actually care no more?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. We've had the meeting and we done basically a democratic vote. We were like, yo, what do you want to do? Parents were like, yo, we want to kick off. We want to do protests. At the time, teachers were striking for their pay. So we took inspiration from that. We're like, look, we don't want to disrupt the kids. We don't want to scare the kids. There's another school across the road. Our kids go there. They're our kids. Do you know what I mean? School are acting like they care about them more than we do. No, we care about our kids more than you. And you know what? The teachers are nice. There's no individual issue with any teacher. Yeah. So we said, you know what? We'll do a silent protest by keeping the kids off school. So come Monday, 12th of June, bro, we've kept the kids off school. Dave put a modest figure on it and said basically there was 40% attendance or 60% absence. Yeah. Wow. So you know this whole you're a minority. Nah.
No, that's proven.
Proven, yeah. And to be honest with you, I've heard it's more around the 30% mark attendance or 70% off, and the capacity of the school is 700. Yeah. So that's a lot of kids off. on 12th of June, this is why they banned me off premises. This is one of the incidents, so I'll just go into that for you. On the 12th of June, yeah, I've gone on that meeting that we had. Parents have written out complaints, yeah, but a lot of worms have come out of the woodwork then, because we've said to parents, speak to your kids, and they've all started speaking to their kids, and they're ringing saying, yo, my child's saying this.
Starting to come out
Yeah,
now.
it's all starting to come out now. So I've got a handful of complaints. So I've gone in, 12th of June, handing complaint in. Walking back towards, basically, there's a home bargains on the other side of the school, so I'm walking round. Police car on the corner. I was annoyed, thinking, why were the police? You know, kids were scared. Yo, police with tasers at a primary school. Like, we're not in America where we have mass shootings. Do you know what I mean? What have you got? What do you want to do to parents? Taser them.
And they were there for the teachers, though.
They were there for the
guys.
teachers, because the boogeyman, who's me, Mr. Mo, the boogeyman, yeah, is apparently, bro, the complaints about me are ridiculous. So I've seen the police, so I've gone over to them. Yeah, PC Laura. Yeah, she's come to me 3 occasions because of the school. Third time, she's like, oh my God, you again. Anyways, chatting to them, I said, yo, why are you guys here? Like, what is it? And they're like, oh, apparently there's going to be a protest. And the school is saying parents are making up rumours. They're trying to say I'm making up rumours, spreading rumours. You're listening to rumours. Yeah, there's a protest. We're keeping our kids off school. End up getting into a 20-minute discussion with them. Then gone round the back. There were 15 parents, yeah, and they were having a chat with the local councillor governor for the school and 2 parent governors. And it was a bit of a... I've had this issue going on for a year, and these are the same 3 people that have been stood in front of me last year saying, you know, you're wrong, don't do this, don't speak like that. How am I wrong? Like, how can you tell me I'm wrong when it comes to my kid? You might be okay with your kid getting fed this, but mine, strictly just even from a pharmaceutical perspective, this is twisted. Telling a 6-year-old that they can be a girl if they want, be a boy. Now we've got 13-year-olds being cats.
Yeah, well,
now we've got Pierce
where
Morgan.
Does it stop? Where does it stop?
Now we've got Pierce Morgan being a 2-spirited penguin, a black lesbian, and he's a cat as well now. Yeah, where do you draw the line? Yeah. And that's the key issue. Where do you draw the line?
Because
so
what's next if a 13-year-old boy goes to a nightclub and says identifies a 21-year-old? He's got to have to let him in.
Let him in. Let him in.
This is the crazy world we're living in.
This is, so where do you draw the line? You draw it at the root. Yeah, and like I said to you, in pharmacy, we do root cause analysis. Yeah, you don't want that plant to grow. Don't just keep clipping the plant.
No. Remove the problem that starts it, Start
yeah.
fresh.
You got drag queens going into primary schools in Bristol. For
libraries.
What for?
Exactly.
Into libraries.
Well,
what
under
for?
a baby century show. If it's a baby century show, they don't need men pretending to be women hanging off a sex swing with gimp outfits on, do they?
What is this for? Like, what are you trying to achieve? Got into a bit of a emotional conversation with them. 15 of us parents frustrated from last year. These guys are still saying the school, what is it? The school are doing the bare minimum. There's actually not that much that you guys can complain about. You guys are blowing it out of proportion. And we're like, you guys are still sold to that fact. Still sold to that fact. Anyways, we've ended that conversation, and this is one of the things they've highlighted in there, saying I was being intimidating or aggressive. I've had 4 kids go through all the way from nursery reception, year 1, year 2. Yeah, I've got another one starting nursery soon, and they'll all move up a year. Never had an incident with no one. First strike's done. We're hoping for a response. We wrote a letter to the school saying that, look, we've got an area of contention, yeah, and all we want is a meeting to discuss all content material across all. We want to be part of the discussion for age appropriation. So the school might think it's good for year 3s. We might be like, nah, that's not good for a 7-year-old. Yeah. We think it's better for year 6. Yeah. All right, let's meet somewhere in the middle. Yeah. Let's do year 5. Yeah? We just want to be part of that discussion because we can't trust you no more. You've made them mistakes. That Willas video, someone approved it. Someone said this is okay for a 6-year-old. So clearly you're not competent enough to make correct decisions because all the governors agreed. We've been to other high schools, other primary schools where head teachers have said, I would have never shown that video. The other 2 counsellors within the Rusholme ward, when we showed them, and one of them's a governor at another primary school, she said, I would never show that video. Yeah, so clearly you're not competent in your decision making. So if you're not, and it's our children at risk of your mistakes, how about we come in the process, not take over it,
help the process,
be part of the process
of it,
to protect our kids. Yeah. No response. Come Friday, what do we all get? We get a letter about a fine.
A fine for
keeping your kids off if you continue to keep it. It was just basically explaining the legalities around the fine. Yeah. It was a generic letter. Yeah. It wasn't nothing targeted or nothing. Yeah.
Bit of scaremongering maybe.
I think the school wanted it to be a bit of scaremongering. Yeah, but you know what? Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. The parents at Birchfields, yeah, they've not stepped back once. Yeah, and the scaremongering was next level, bro. Yeah, your postcode's gonna be classified as homophobic. Yeah, and when your kids apply for college and uni, they won't. The university and the college will see that they're from a homophobic postcode and they won't get a place. Now, if anyone knows Asian parents, yeah, we're brought up being told degree, you have to educate, you have to study. So when you say that to an Asian parent, especially first generation immigrants, they're going to be like, nah, my son needs to get his degree, I don't want to be a part of this. Benefits are going to get stopped. It's a low income area, alongside it's a low income, ethnic minority area. Yeah, there's a lot of people on benefits there. They're panicking. Some people haven't got full British citizenship. You might get deported. Bro, these are rumours being spread by people who are supposed to be community leaders. Are you supposed to exacerbate tensions, or are you supposed to kind of put water over the fire and calm things down?
Well, we know what we would do.
110%.
But the people in the power,
yeah, they were
got the
scared,
responsibility.
bro. And they made
There
bad
you go.
mistakes. And you know what? You have to hold your hands up. Yeah, all these leaders know who I'm talking about. Hold your hands up. You made a mistake. There's nothing wrong with it. Takes a man to put his hand up and say, I made a mistake.
100%.
Yeah. So if parents are vexed at this letter saying, you're threatening us. We expected all of them to get scared. Called another strike for the 19th. This time we did 3-day, 19, 20, 21. I think there was about 200 kids in on the 19th. Parents were like, let's keep them off for a week and that. We're like, nah. We have, like, in medicine, we have stepwise therapy. So you start off with the lowest drug strength, and then you slowly increase till you get therapeutic dose. So I was like, listen, let's do stepwise therapy. Let's see at what point the school says, all right, okay, that's our therapeutic dose. No response. We've written a letter again, saying that, look, this is all we're asking for. Bro, if you read them letters, honestly, the guy that wrote them, he's a very professional man. I'm not going to say his name yet, but he's a very professional, very articulate, very respectful member of society. Big up to you. Then we're like, you know what? Then we started hearing that the teachers are getting upset about it. Not upset at parents, but they're just getting upset. There's no kids in school. Do you know what I mean? I got 6 kids, bro. I try and run away from the house. The hard work, bro. You know, when you're a teacher and you got 30 kids, bro, you must love your job. You must love being around school. So for them not to have kids there, it was we written a letter to them saying we apologise. We hope you don't feel like we've got an issue with you. This, that, the other, everything. I swear, again, bro, the letter was so well articulated. We said, look, 99% of what goes on in the school, we're happy with. We've got one little area of contention. We're not saying we want it to be thrown out. These were rumours that, you just don't want the school to teach any of it. No. We just want to become part of the process, and we want to know what's getting taught. Wrote this letter. Do you know what the response was? Or what are they trying to do? Kill us with kindness? Well, what do you want us to do? Kill you with violence? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, what type of nonsense is this? We're trying to reach out to you to say we've got no issue with you. And the response is, they're trying to kill us with kindness.
See, behind the scenes, these guys and the community have been nothing but showing support and love and wanting to build a bridge of togetherness with the parents, right? And what we're seeing here is the media and other people deflecting from the truth. And people, this is what we're up against. What did Peter Fatchell say? Muslim extremists. And Peter Fatchell, by the way, let me just tell you Peter Fatchell is. Peter Fatchell is a pro-paedophile activist, This guy was a part of a group that was funded by the UK government from 1974 to 1985 called PI. PI stands for Paedophile Information Exchange. And there's 2 other prominent members of Labour that were a part of that group and are still in power today. This is how far this stuff goes back, people. Don't take my word for it. Don't take his word for it. Do your own research.
It's not even my word, bro. I've started learning all of this from you. And you know what? Do your research. Don't take what this guy's saying half-heartedly. I've known him a week. And he's opened my eyes up to how deep the rabbit hole really goes. And it's not a joke. But he's trying to paint the picture of what? Muslim extremists. No. Passionate parent.
Correct.
Extremely loving parent. I'm an extremist when it comes to loving and caring for my children. And that's who they want to call social services on. It's no longer about, you know what, you neglect your kids, we're not going to, we're going to call, no. If you care about your kids too much, where you're not going to let anyone just blindly expose them to anything, then we're going to call social services. Oh, nonsense, bro. Anyway, response to the letter again, just a threat. So we've called a meeting again. We tried to book the same hall. And you know, the organisers actually said to me, don't tell anyone the location till last minute. I was like, nah, they tried to do it last time. Yeah, don't worry, I've got contacts. I'll get it opened up and that, Because we run our charity organisation from that same place. We have our wrestling classes for free there. Bro, that community centre does a lot for the community. Yeah, and so, you know, I was like, look, now we got good links with them. Don't worry, it'll get sorted. Bro, they got an email saying, if you allow this meeting to go ahead, your council's going to pull the lease off you. Because the council are building.
Wow.
We've got on the phone, found a private hall, £500, put the money down, booked it there. The first meeting, I'll show you the pictures, bro, 170 parents. The second one, there's about 50 parents. This is how badly this tried to sabotage parents meeting up. We've got a WhatsApp group if you really want to communicate, but let us meet up. What's it to you? You don't want to have a meeting with us. Let us have our own meeting. Nah. Can't let them get together. God knows what these parents are going to do. They might start loving their kids even more. Yeah. They might start caring about everyone's kids. Oh, that's so bad. Yeah, this is nonsense. We're like, look, we've done this, we've done that. And by now I've studied the RSC framework inside out, bro. Consult with parents. This is in the RSC framework. Parents are the primary educators and school are there to support them.
100%. It's on the website, by the way.
It's in the RSC framework, that make sure you consult with parents, take into account the demographic of the area where you live in. Make parents part of the process. Make sure you tell parents when and what time you're teaching this stuff. It's all there in the RSC framework. No sex education, bro. You got a lesson called RSC. What does RSC stand for? Relationship and sex education. Do you know what the school are telling us? We don't teach sex education. So why have you got a lesson called RSC? Do you have art lesson and say, yeah, we're teaching you history, pull out your paint and your felt tips? No, it makes no sense. You're calling it RSC because it's relationship and sex education. Now, here's where they've been smart. RE, relationship education, is compulsory in primary school. RSE, relationship and sex education, is compulsory in secondary school. If you mix the RE with the S in primary school, now you're not, our relationship education, so they can't pull themselves out of sex education. If it's sex education on its own, opt out. Because they've mixed it with the relationship education, and the RE part of it is compulsory. Guess what? You can't pull your kids out. You thought this through. This isn't by mistake. 100%, that's the thing. 100%. This isn't by mistake.
No.
Started talking to because the parents needed to know that. Listen, we're not just making this stuff up. This is in government's paperwork. The parents said protest, so did a protest. Planned it for what date was it now?
Beginning of July, 6th of July or 9th of July?
9th of July, something like that, innit? Tuesday. The night before, now the school want to take us seriously, will have an unofficial, off-the-record meeting with you if you cancel the protest. Out of the 6 admin group, I fell for it. I was like, nah, because we had some community leaders who were like, look, this is blowing out of proportion. We don't want it to turn into a racial issue in Manchester. We don't want to turn it into an Islamophobic, homophobic issue in Manchester, because that's not what it is. It's a concerned parent saying, can we have a discussion about this? I've even got the poster made, bro. 8 o'clock, my cousin, the one that reached me out to you, Sumaya, 8 o'clock, she's made me the poster for the protest. 8:15, she made a poster with the same poster with a big red sign, postponed. We've had a meeting with the admin group, I was like, nah, let's postpone it. We might get some communication. The rest of them were like, listen, unofficial, off the record.
So it don't mean nothing.
Don't mean nothing.
Nothing.
I got sucked in because for a whole year we've been working towards this, so I got excited. I'm like, nah, we're getting a result here. They're going to sit down and talk. Nah. So I got outvoted. So we did the protest, called 20 of my mates down, high-vis jackets, 3 in front of each entrance at the school. I said no one is allowed to go towards the school gates. We had the parents on the opposite side. I had them marshalled in. There was only 1 police van, with 2 police, and they just drove around, come chatted to me. They were like, everything's peaceful, we're happy. I was like, wicked, you carry on. Proper live protest. That's the one that 5 Pillars Roshan reported on. Everything went fine. No problems, no nothing. Most of it was just me talking, to be honest with you. And then we still had the unofficial meeting. Right. So they've said cancel the afternoon protest. Cause of what everyone said, we were like, nah, forget that. second protest will still go ahead. Went at this unofficial meeting. How long we were in that unofficial meeting, shows that? How long? 4 hours, bro. Sat there, discussing with that councillor governor. 4 hours. They've still done the protest, bro. Apparently it was going off in the afternoon.
Really?
Yeah. Going off as in everyone was behind it.
Right, okay.
Only 2 police officers there.
Yeah.
No incidents reported.
Yeah.
No homophobic comments. No discriminatory comments. My boys, I told them straight, I said, anyone that comes into this protest and starts shouting anything discriminatory, dash them out, they're not from us.
Fair play
Anyone
to you.
brings their own placards, vet it.
Vet
If
it,
it's
check
okay, wicked. If not, rip that stuff up, and dash them out. I sat at home, me and my kids, you seen them in it, 6 of them, me, my wife, 6 kids. We made our placards, 10 of them, handed them out to the parents. And you know, on there, no one noticed, I made mistakes, I was going through my daughter's book, showing, you know, the level of mistakes she used to make. Crossing out, putting arrows, hate should be here. These are the same kids you're trying to show this nonsense to. Yeah. They can't even spell the right words, and then they draw arrows to draw it in. They're supposed to be writing, like doing some homework, and then they start doodling butterflies on there and drawing stars and so on. That's what I'm noticing, and I'm like, this is what people need. Kids need to be kids. Let them be kids.
Correct.
Why are you trying to throw them into this world of adulthood where you're trying to work out your sexuality, where you're trying to work out, am I attracted to a man or am I attracted to a woman?
Bro, as a 36-year-old man, I struggle with this ideology. Because there's over 100 genders now to start. How do you think our kids feel? 6 years old?
Someone called me sis, and I'm like, what do you mean sis? Like, I
That-
call
do
my
you know
older
that got-
sister that.
Check
I'm
this
like,
out.
sis, how are you?
Check this out. The word cis, was only put in the Oxford Dictionary in 2015. It's a made-up word. It's a made-up word to make that community feel they've got something.
I swear, even binary and non-binary, the only time I ever heard that was from my mates who've done computer science, because the way coding works, zeros and one, binary, non-binary. Someone's saying to me, it's because you're cis. And I'm like, no, I've got a cis, I've got one older cis, like, you know what I mean? What are you on about? And you want to shove this down a 6-year-old throat? Are you having a laugh? And that's my child.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm the dad. Yeah, and I'll tell you straight, I'm very overprotective over my kids.
So all we should be, though.
You know, some people fail to understand where my roots come from. Yeah, when I got married, I had 2 twin boys that passed away. Yeah, we didn't have kids for 6 years. We then went for the options of IVF, fostering, and adoption. We got approved for all 3, and then me and my wife had a discussion about which one we want to do. Yeah, and then she got pregnant. Like, we were supposed to start IVF, and then she just got pregnant.
Thank God.
Yeah. I didn't have. We reached a point where we actually thought we're not going to have kids. Hence why we're looking at them options. So when I got given my first daughter, that was for me a gift. You know, that whole 9 months my wife was pregnant, I was reading books how to raise kids. Yeah, social studies on what develops their intellect, what develops an open mind. Because you always have a vision of what you want your kid to be like, you know, what type of person. You want them to be someone of morality, someone of principle, someone who's going to make a difference to the world, not their own lives. Yeah, so I was studying all of this Montessori method of teaching. This, that, the other. Is homeschooling good? I studied it inside out, social studies. There's like, you know, 0 to 7, how you deal with a child, 7 to 14. There's all of these constructs broken down. So that's why I'm so passionate. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I'm not going to back down. I'm not going to give up. And no parent should. If you care about your child, you should not back down from this.
100% behind you.
We've done that. Me and Shozad, sorry, actually cut that out, Me and my friend sat at the back over there. We were in this meeting for 4 hours, back and forth, false promises. Even the community leaders, they were very, very optimistic that they knew that councillor governor well enough to make a difference. Yeah, even they felt embarrassed, bro. They're like, you know what? Like, we thought we could pull strings. Yeah. Do you know what the guy said? Now I'm involved. He has to listen. That's how my was going on. So now when I see him, you know, to tease him, I'd be like, but you're involved now, innit?
Give him the power. Give him the power.
Bro, the guy's got no respect for no one. He's not listening to nothing. We wasted 4 hours. Had that first protest. What happens the next day? Mr. Mo's been banned from coming onto school premises.
It's a joke.
Highlighting the 12th of June, which is the day of the first protest, when I handed in the complaints, saying I was intimidating and aggressive. Yeah, and highlighting another issue, which was on the 22nd of June. 22nd of June, was the day after the 3-day protest. I went into school because my kids were late. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was a strike. I went in on Thursday. Apparently there was RSE lesson on Thursday. So parents were like, we've done a strike Monday to Wednesday. The whole thing we're kicking off about, that's on Thursday. That's the day you tell us to send our kids in. Wow. I'm like, listen, as a group, we said 3-day strike. We did 1 day, we do 3 days now, If you don't want to send your kids in, don't. So I'm in dropping my kids off late, and one of the parents said, yo, you're in school, they're not answering the phone. Yeah. Ask them. So I've asked them. Now you've got this whole big dilemma going on. Kids are off school, less than 60% attendance. Gone to reception, is RSE lesson on today? Don't know. Then at the same time, the parents sent a screenshot. She's asked one of the teachers, yeah, is RSE lesson on today? He's replied basically saying, we've been told by the senior leadership team, SLT, that's like deputy head and assistant head, vice, whatever all their roles are. We've been told by them not to communicate with parents. Wow. So I've said, yo, what are you guys playing at? I said, like, do you not care that kids are off school? Do you not care that parents are like annoyed? I said, you guys are saying we don't know. I said, which I believe to be a lie. This whole dilemma is going on and you don't know when that lesson is. Yeah. Teachers are saying we're not allowed to communicate with you. And the SLT have turned around and said to all the parents, it's gone above us now. It's with local authority. We can't comment. So parents can't ask a question there. They can't ask a question there. They can't ask a question there. So I've started getting frustrated. I'm saying, yo, how do you think you're making us feel like you're behaving with us like this? So there's 4 of them there in reception, yeah. Next thing you know, teachers come around the corner, Mr. Clifford, Miss Campbell, Miss Offord, these are the SLT, and the woman from local education authority, Sarah Gardner. So I've got 4 there, yeah. Surrounded, bro. And they're saying to me, they're saying, why are you kicking off with reception? I said, I'm not kicking off. I said, I'm asking them a question, but why are you asking them? I said, because as a parent, if I've got an issue, the first place I come is to reception.
Of course it is.
Or what's your issue? We're not allowed to thingy. The Willa video's gone now. Why are we still kicking off about that? I said, we're not cooking. I said, root cause analysis, innit? Yep. You've got rid of it.
But where's
now
the
let's
problem?
work out how did it come in.
Where's the problem,
And how much other things is it that's come in that we don't know about?
Correct.
My daughter told me about that. What about the stuff my daughter hasn't told me about?
Yeah.
I don't expect my child to tell me. It's your job as a teacher to tell me. So started having this discussion anyways. They've all walked off. So I started speaking to Sarah Gardner. She's from local education authority. Lovely woman. Yeah. I said, look, parents are annoyed and frustrated. You've got to address this issue. Had a good chat with her for half an hour. So that's come up in the ban. On the 22nd, so on the 12th, I was intimidating and aggressive to parents, forcing them to keep their kids off school. I forced 60% absence in the school. I forced that. On the 22nd, Mr. Sajjad went in, and was basically aggressive and intimidating to reception staff. Yeah. The woman, Sarah Gardner, I was in a separate meeting with her, with the police and that, and she explicitly said that on that day, I didn't find you aggressive and intimidating. I found you emotional and frustrated, and we actually had a good chat for half an hour. If I was so aggressive on that day, why didn't you call the police?
Exactly, because they're deflecting the narrative away from the truth, because that much publicity was at Birchfields. They're trying to talk the extremist, the homophobic, the transphobic. Something needs to change with the local councils, the government. The parents need to be more involved. Where are we up to today, as we stand?
So, as we stand now, basically, it's now out of the school hands. City council's involved. We've had good conversations with them, and we're getting somewhere now. We've had quite a productive meeting with the heads of council, and there's going to be letters being issued to the parents of Birchfields. And again, the 3 things we asked for: an open, honest kind of conversation about content and material, being involved in discussing the age appropriateness of material, and basically trying to create like a parent-teacher association type setup. Basically.
Can I just say quickly, Mo, thank you so much for coming on,
bro.
being the man that you are, looking out for all our children, and keep battling, bro. I'll be by your side
guys,
all along.
Make sure you follow this guy. I've only known him a week. Yeah, his page and his knowledge has opened my eyes up so much more. People like Michael need to be heard. The message that he's spreading has to be spread. I just think it's necessary, for everyone to follow him. To follow his work, support him, subscribe to his channel, do whatever you got to do, because we need to make sure Michael's voice gets out far and wide. Everyone needs to know what this guy's talking about. He's opened my eyes up in the last week a lot.
Thank you so much, man. And we keep battling.
Yeah, and we'll have to do a part 2, bro, because there's a lot more to talk about.
There's so much more.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Michael.
Bro.
Honestly, God put us together, bro.
100%.
Honestly, I
no
honestly
coincidences,
believe,
you know that, man.
3, 2,